Let's talk about coronavirus. Now, I will say about a week ago, when all of us knew less about it, I made a video, which most people agreed with me on and are still watching it, and people are still agreeing with me despite my view being different, having evolved, having known more knowledge about this. The video I made a week ago was called "This American Man Thinks Coronavirus Might Just Be a Political Conspiracy." It's received nearly 1,000 views, 30 thumbs up, only 8 thumbs down, which means the majority of people who watched that felt similar to how I felt. But now that a week has passed, and now that we all have more knowledge and information and understanding about it, I figured I should make an update to express how I feel about this now. So here's how I feel about it now. I have a better understanding that it's not really the virus itself, it's not coronavirus itself that is the issue. It's the fear of hospitals being too full to help people who can be cured or healed of coronavirus. But if there's too many people in the hospital because they all catch it at the same time, then people will die when they didn't have to die. So it makes sense now to me that we shut down sports events, we shut down schools for a couple of weeks so that, yes, we all ultimately get coronavirus and it passes through the whole world population as the world for the first time is introduced to this coronavirus, but at a slower pace, so that ultimately for most people, probably like me, for all I know, there's a good chance I have it or have already been exposed to it, it already passed through me, it didn't do anything to me, whatever. There's a good chance of that. But by me not being out in public as much as I normally would, it helps prevent the risk of me being in a restaurant and passing it on to someone who does have an autoimmune disease or elderly or whatever it is. I get that now, it makes sense. But see, a week ago, it seemed like everyone's making a big deal about this disease as if this was going to kill us all. So that's the threat is not that we're all gonna die, like the Black Plague or whatever it is. It's not that. The threat is not that we're all going to get this thing. It's more like we are going to get this thing, and let's just make room in the hospitals for the people who need to be there who would otherwise die if they don't get care. That makes sense to me. It's simple. It doesn't sound like a conspiracy anymore to me. And looking back, 102 years ago, there was a flu that came through the United States in 1918, and a similar situation happened. Where in, I believe it was St. Louis, they shut everything down and they had much less people die because of it. Meanwhile, Philadelphia refused and they kept everything going and lots of people died from that flu. They also had people go outside and get fresh air and sunlight. So it was a matter of, we've already been through this, it's just that it's been 102 years old. So anyone still alive who would have lived through that probably doesn't remember it. So we can learn from history on this. It makes sense. Social distancing. I get it now. I understand it. But one of the things I often say in my videos is a poor communicator can take a simple concept and make it complicated. Meanwhile, a good commuter, isn't that ironic? I'm trying to say good communicator, I misspoke it. A good communicator can take a complicated concept and make it simple. So there's even a chance maybe I helped you understand this whole thing a little bit better. I no longer believe it's a government conspiracy. I get it now. It makes sense. I'm on board. So it's not that we're all going to die of this thing. It's that we've got to make sure that it doesn't all spread all at once. Let's let it kind of spread a little bit slower so that the people who really could die from it are able to go to the hospital. And people that need to be in the emergency room, like car accidents or whatever it is, heart attack, whatever it is, that they've got a place in the hospital too. It makes sense. So basically only have people that work for essential roles. And other than that, we just have to make a sacrifice, and not everyone can work and go to school. That makes sense to me. So knowing that I've had a change of heart, see, people agreed with me a week ago when I said it was a conspiracy. Most people agree with me and watch that. But now that I've had a change of heart, what I'm wondering is has public opinion changed as well? Will that mean this video will get definitely more thumbs up than thumbs down by default? Will people agree with me, or do they want me to still say it's a conspiracy which, based on the limited information we all had a week ago, that's how I felt. Times have changed. We understand things better. It's not that we're all going to die of the thing. It's that we need to make room for the hospitals. But also, it's a good idea to get outside, fresh air and sunlight. Your comments belong right here.